Tetris 99's release in February 2019 was a monumental moment in my then 11-year-long gaming career, as it was what got me into battle royales. You see, I was always that one kid back in middle school who just didn't care about games like Fortnite, which was incredibly popular around that time, and is still popular today. I was just perfectly content playing No Shame and Dignity over there instead in Super Mario Odyssey 2 because I'm cool, I swear. Ultimately, it didn't really matter to me that much that I wasn't playing the most relevant and coolest games there were at the time, because I was just enjoying the games that I was interested in. And besides, I always found battle royales to be a little too frustrating and sometimes even unfair for me. Now that might just be because I stink at them, good for me, but ultimately the idea that you're thrown into a big open arena trying to be the last one standing was always a cool concept. But there's always going to be someone who's better than you, whether they're more skilled or stronger, and that always frustrated me. I've always wanted matches to be fair and honorable, but apparently that's too much to ask for. And for a while, I just never really had any interests in this genre, sadly. Until Tetris 99 came out and changed that completely. And man, this game is unbelievably amazing. It's addictive, it's fun, and it checks off all the boxes needed for someone who doesn't care about battle royales and makes it something everyone can enjoy. And that may just be because Tetris is one of my favorite games of all time, but I think when you create a battle royale out of a game that's already pretty fantastic and it fits the battle royale genre perfectly, then that's the best way to do it in my opinion. They even applied this concept onto the original Super Mario Bros. In 2020 with Super Mario Bros. 35 for the franchise's 35th anniversary, and hell, even Pac-Man got the Battle Royale treatment in 2021 with Pac-Man 99. And this is how you do Battle Royales. These games are already fun on their own, so giving them a competitive twist was ultimately the key to turn me into a fan of this genre. Although games like Fortnite still weren't really my thing because I felt like you'll still need to be pretty skilled just to have a shot at lasting any longer than a few minutes. And while all three of these games were incredibly fun in their own rights, they did have one glaring problem. And before you ask, no, it's not the fact that you can't play this on an island.
Damn it!
They'd always die off after a short period of time. I mean, I'm still somewhat able to find full lobbies in Tetris 99 to play against, but Pac-Man 99? It'd always be CPUs because I legitimately can't find anyone else who's actually playing it, and the game even got discontinued a while back as well. And with Super Mario Bros. 35, where I believe the game would most likely meet the same fate as Tetris and Pac-Man, it sadly never got to that point as it was a limited time release that got discontinued just 5 months after its initial release. And while a good chunk of time has passed since the last Battle Royale game that's a part of the 99 format, we finally got a new game just recently with F-Zero 99 was the next official candidate to become a part of the 99 series. Now why am I reacting so strongly about this? Because I literally spent 23 minutes talking about it a while back. Now I have to waste another 23 minutes talking about it again? Okay, maybe I'm overreacting a little bit. If anything, that video actually did me a favor, honestly, because now I don't have to talk about the game in full. I just have to talk about the Battle Royale version, F-Zero 99, so I hope you'll understand when I don't bring up crucial aspects that should be mentioned when reviewing the game, as you'll have to check out the other video for that. But now, let's not waste any more time and take a look at F-Zero 99 on the Nintendo Switch. And have it be under 13 minutes. So for those who don't know, F-Zero was a racing game that released on the Super Famicom in 1990 in Japan and 1991 here in North America on the Super Nintendo. The game is meant to be a lot faster than your average racing game and carries a futuristic theme throughout, not only with the game's art style, but with the vehicles you drive too. And the idea of a racing game as a battle royale just ultimately makes the most sense in the world and has me pretty surprised that they didn't attempt this sooner. But when you actually start playing the game, the only thing you'll be thinking about is being the last racer standing. And after you get through the game's brief tutorial section essentially teaching you about how to control the game and its various mechanics, that's when you get serious. You have 4 different modes to choose from on the menu. Starting with F-Zero 99, and wow, they named the main game mode after the game itself. This is essentially the main mode of the game where you're thrown into a randomly selected level and where you start on this ginormous track that eventually leads to the familiar track designs from the original game. And by that point, it becomes an all-out battle royale where you have to complete all 4 laps while taking out other opponents and doing whatever it takes to get the highest rank possible. Now, I never got first place in Tetris 99, so I'll make it a mission to get first place here. I mean, come on, this award's gotta be used for something. Now, before being thrown into races, you're instead thrown into a waiting room while you wait for other players to join in, as well as the area where you and those other racers from before vote on which of 2 tracks to race on, where the one with the most votes is the one selected. Finally, a battle royale with politics. That's why I stopped playing Tetris 99 a few years back. Get through that, and the starting point for all races, the experience becomes classic F-Zero gameplay with a competitive twist. Now, many of the tropes from the original, like the power meter, which is basically a life system, and how bumping into the wall or other racers causes damage and too much damage will lead to a game over, as well as course elements like the dirt, ramps, and pits that you can fall in are all here as well. I mean, the original track designs are all still the same. None of this stuff is new. However, F-Zero 99 does add some new tropes of its own, like a safe rank system where you need to be at a specific rank during the race like 80th place or 75th place, and anything lower than that will get you eliminated. There's also this new spin move that you can use to knock out opponents, and these yellow orb things that you need to collect more and more of, whether they're scattered across the track or these machines dropping them out to fill up this meter that, once filled out, takes you to a track above the main one, allowing you to skip over opponents and get ahead for a couple seconds. And of course, you also have these boost panels that gives you a short burst of extra speed without causing you to drain your power meter like when you press the A button. And all these new additions only makes the competitive aspect of the game way more strategic and incredibly fun. I cannot tell you how satisfying it was flying past all the other racers while up in the air, or sending my opponents flying with the spin move. All of it just highlights why F-Zero 99 was truly the next best candidate for the 99 series. However though, the more linear parts of the track can be a bit too crowded with 98 other racers on it alongside yourself, and this is why I feel that the tracks are a bit more open like Big Blue works the best, where on the more linear ones, it sort of becomes a traffic jam with no easy way to really pass at all. And this might just be because I'm bad at the game, but I felt that when there were so many other racers and we were in the more linear parts of the track, I constantly kept bumping into everyone, which led to hitting the wall so many times, and not a whole lot of game overs were caused by this, but a few, and of which just sort of felt like it wasn't really my fault. But who knows, maybe it was just my fault because, like I said before, I am bad at the game. But I'd be lying if I said this ruined the experience for me. Because while I would typically feel a bit adamant about F-Zero shoehorning in new additions that wouldn't mesh well properly to make it more competitively viable, it obviously ended up working a lot better than many of us could have ever expected, and made for a battle royale I absolutely adore. But let's continue. On top of the main battle royale mode itself, there's also tournament mode, which is similar to the previous mode I mentioned in terms of the goal, but now has multiple races for those who reach a specific place in the game needs you to meet before you can progress. It is kind of annoying though that you have to wait a specific time for the tournament mode to be available. Like, I never understood that with how some games have certain modes locked behind specific times, and I personally just always thought it came off as pretty stupid. And in order to actually play the tournament mode, you need to collect tickets from the main mode itself, and the better you do, the more tickets you obtain, which a certain amount is required to play, and that goes for the timed exclusive tournaments as well. Again, why? But I mean, the tournament mode is similar to the regular F-Zero 99 mode, so does it truly even matter? Perhaps we should ask the special Grand Prix mini tournaments that show up from time to time, either adding something new to the tracks, or a style that changes up the gameplay quite a bit, like this classic style that's incredibly reminiscent of the original Super Nintendo game. 20 racers, no yellow orbs to collect, allowing you to zip past everyone in the sky when your meter was full. Why did I find this tournament pretty boring? I don't know. It just felt so empty when it's supposed to be a battle royale and you're only playing against 20 people who don't even feel like real people. They just feel like AI controlled players, as well as something that just kinda got stale to me. I know other people really enjoyed it, and it is a really cool throwback to the original Super Nintendo game, but that's really all I can say about it. It's just a cool throwback, and that's about it. And I swear, if I see another modern take on a classic game with a 4x3 display like this one ever again, I'm gonna lose my sanity! But of course, there's also other special tournaments as well, like this one here that adds a winter aesthetic to all the tracks. Yeah, that's all I got for now. So tournament mode is pretty cool, especially when specific tournaments change the format of the game, for better or for worse, and I do find it interesting that you're required to reach a specific place or higher before moving on to the next race. It really makes you strategize how you plan to win, and makes you more inclined to do so, which makes it a better F-Zero 99 in the end. Next up is practice mode. No matter how modern the game gets, I just can't seem to escape its hell. This is basically just a time trials mode where you, by yourself, are practicing to get the best time. And then you can race your ghost of your previous time and beat that over and over and over again. Now, why play this instead of the time trials mode for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe that's on the same system? Because it's F-Zero, bitches! And finally, we have the workshop mode, offering you customization options for your car, which more gets unlocked after performing better in races, which ups your rating. You could also change your pilot card with different cosmetics like the backdrop, the badges, and the borders, as well as view your overall stats from past races, but I personally never really got into this. And so, overall, while that was a relatively short and simple explanation of the game, that was F-Zero 99, and proved to be a really fun time in the end. The original F-Zero on the Super Nintendo was always a great game, and that's no different today. However, 99 enhances the original by giving it a competitive twist and breathing new life into a 33-year-old franchise that Nintendo really doesn't even bother with anymore. And the new elements it adds, like the ability to skip past other racers and small portions of the tracks in the sky, is fun. The new spin move offered a satisfying and hilarious way to get ahead of opponents, and when you get ranked out or destroyed, or not get first place, it is the worst feeling in the world. And sure, some areas of the game aren't as good as others, but all in all, F-Zero 99 is a really fun game and something I can definitely see myself going back to time and time again. And I managed to do it all under 13 minutes, so now I can claim my award and never look back. Damn, that's not really all that rewarding now, is it? Son of a bitch, I need some new hobbies. And that's a wrap on today's video. If you enjoyed it, then please consider subscribing and checking out my other videos on my channel where you'll find more videos like this one. And with that, thank you all so much for watching, have an amazing rest of your day, and see you next time.